Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Dungeon World Oldtown. Hi everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So, some things happened last time, huh?
Wonderful things.
Yeah, Docs, your name is wrong in Roll20.
Yeah, you may want to fix that.
Okay.
It's right on the
Spoiler.
overlay though. Spoiler, well, not really, because it's already on the overlay. Okay, so, Catilyn is going to be showing up in a little bit. And I do kind of want to hold off on summing up what happened since she wasn't here last episode. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do character creation with Axiom, which he's already done, but we're just going to kind of talk through it. So, Axiom, what is your class?
Axiom's class is going to be a crusader. Wait,
Paladin.
paladin.
I was like, I
I
don't
was
think
just playing Diablo 3. Sorry.
Okay. Paladins are cool. So you have 16 strength, 12 dexterity, 13 constitution, 8 intelligence, 9 wisdom, and 15 charisma. You have 23 HP, 2 armor, and your base damage is a D10. That's pretty cool.
Yes, D10.
So,
The old D6 was a little weak. Looking forward to this.
what is your alignment?
His alignment is lawful. Deny mercy to criminals or unbelievers.
And what is your race?
He is the human.
So when you pray for guidance, even for a moment, and ask what here is evil, the GM will tell you honestly. That's me. I'm the GM.
You read my mind. I was going to say that. And I'm like, nah, she doesn't be good. And then you said it, and I was like, I love it.
A much better ability than asking a question and having the GM answer you dishonestly.
That's true. Because that's what can happen. That's what can happen if you spout lore and roll a 6.
Oh.
So you get 4 starting moves, including lay on hands. So when you touch someone skin to skin and pray for their well-being, roll plus charisma. On a 10 plus, you heal 1d8 damage and remove 1 disease. That's cool. On a 7 to 9, they are healed, but the damage or disease is transferred to you.
I can take it.
Armored, so you ignore the clumsy tag on armor that you wear. You also have I am the law. So when you give an NPC an order based on your divine authority, roll plus charisma. On a 7 plus, you can choose... Oh, they choose one. They can do what you say, back away cautiously and then flee or attack you. And on a 10 plus, you also take +1 forward against them. On a miss, they do as they please and you take -1 forward against them. And then paladins get a really cool ability, or a really cool move called Quest. So when you dedicate yourself to a mission through prayer and ritual cleansing, state what you set out to do. Slay blank, a great blight on the land, defend blank from the iniquities that beset them, or discover the truth of blank. Then choose up to 2 bonds. Oh, sorry, boons, not bonds. Yeah, I misspoke. So choose up to 2 boons, like an unwavering sense of direction to blank, or senses that pierce lies. Those are all very cool. The GM will then tell you what vow or vows are required for you to maintain your blessing, such as honor, temperance, or hospitality. Okay, so you chose dungeon rations, a pewter torch, which is your symbol of, how do you pronounce your god's name?
Avel.
And why don't you tell me a little bit about Avel?
Okay, Avel is a deity. One second, let me bring these up, and that makes things a little easier. Some of her titles include the Cleansing Light, or Lady Smolder, Basically, her three aspects she defines are justice, vengeance, and purity. She looks like a tall, pale-skinned woman whose red hair moves like flames, and she has no eyes. If you look in her eyes, you just see a limitless darkness with a small flame in each eye. Basically, she produces flames which can judge those who touch it, savagely burning those with wicked hearts, while bestowing only a gentle warmth to the pure.
That was well spoken with a lot of heartfelt passion.
Yeah.
Axiom's all about the passion.
I was going to say Axiom drank the Kool-Aid.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking with him.
So
I even have it on my notes.
It's what you told me too when we were messaging about it.
Oh, okay, I did tell you that. All right.
Yeah. So you have scale mail, which gives you 2 armor, 3 weight, a halberd that has reach, +1 damage, and 2-handed. So whenever you do damage with your halberd, remember to add +1 to it. And then you have adventuring gear, 5 uses, 1 weight. So that functions the same way as Olivia's does. You can name any basic adventuring item. If you can rationalize it being in an adventuring gear bag, pull it out, mark off 1 use, now you have that item.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and describe Axiom to me?
Axiom.
Connection
See.
to the server has been interrupted.
Yeah,
Oh. Can everyone still hear each other, though?
I can hear you.
I
We
can.
normally can.
Okay.
So you can still talk.
All right, so he's a 25-year-old male with a fit body, glowing eyes shining from the darkness of his helmeted head, and he carries chained to his wrist a small pewter torch.
Okay.
By the way, this torch can't actually be lit normally. It doesn't work like a normal torch. It's more like a statue that looks like a torch with a small piece of amber on top.
Okay. Where do you come from, Axiom?
Ooh, I never got to this part. Yes, the far north.
Okay. And what is the name of this land to the far north from which you hail?
Hillsbrad.
Hillsbrad. Let me make a note of that.
One thing I have to say I love about Dungeon World is the fact that the world we're in is evolving as we go. Like we're just adding stuff, and it just is. That's put on. Whoa, the Cotty's in here?
Hello?
Hi, Katie.
Okay, sorry, I had to do laundry.
That's okay.
Well, I had to hang it up.
No one wants wrinkled laundry. That's true.
I couldn't hear her.
You can't hear her?
Yeah, I can't also either.
Oh, weird. I can hear her.
It's probably that server issue that was just going on. Should the rest of us
Yeah,
reconnect, maybe?
Maybe I'll refresh the page.
I'll type it out.
That seems good.
Refreshing.
Testing, testing.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Very good.
Hello?
Hello!
Okay.
Hi.
Everything seems to be working now. I think Roll20 was having some issues the other day, so it might still be having some. But it's working now, so that's good. We were just getting Axiom introduced because Estrella is no longer with us, and I wanted to wait until you were here, Katie, before I recapped last session. So you came in at just the right time.
Stop, please. Thank you. Sorry, my dog's pawing at me. He's
That's-
grabbing my hand every time I try to type something.
That is okay. So, last session, you all finished exploring this tower, and Estrella had... I'm going to tell this kind of from Z's perspective, because Z wasn't here, so she was kind of just observing. So here's what Z saw. Z saw the group find these magical items. And Estrelli looked through it and he didn't describe what he saw. He just said that it definitely didn't show the future. That's what he said. And that he looked through this spyglass, this magic spyglass, and then he gave it back to Zed. The rest of you went up to the top of the tower. Estrelli was able to place the medallion in the hand of the iron golem, and it granted you all passage to the top floor. You witnessed Zed perform a great ritual magic to dispel a magic circle that he had found cast upon the floor in this top destroyed room. It was like a master bedroom chamber. And Estrelli found a small polished black stone that Zed said was magical, and he found it in one of the chests. And I think the rest of you also found like a little bit of gold. Not very much, though. Then you all descended to the bottom of the tower to retrieve Zed's staff. And when Zed reached to, you found this stone dais at the bottom of this tower. And it was at the bottom of this well, because, on the main floor there was this well, and then you went down at the bottom and it was a dais. And when Zed reached onto the dais to take his staff, Estrelli noticed that for some reason it was casting a shadow. And there was nothing there that should have been casting that shadow. The rest of you decided to venture deeper into the underground portion of the tower, and you found a series of caverns blocked off by a stone door. And as you explored, you found an ornate sarcophagus and also many coffins.
And at this point, Estrelli did mention that you guys shouldn't try to loot the dead. Let me just put that out there.
I mean, Estrelli did mention that you should leave the undead undisturbed. That's not what happened.
I wonder who caused that.
You all proceeded to try to clear out the skeletons and zombies that were inside these coffins. And you were doing fairly well. The only notable thing that had happened was that one of the zombies tried to shove Estrelli into one of the coffins. And then Zed cast a spell. And as he cast the spell, the magics that he wove awoke this mummified creature from the sarcophagus. And you were all able to hear the stone lid shift off of the sarcophagus, and you turned and you ran to intercept this mummified creature, and Zed cast some spells at it, doing some significant damage. Olivia tried to shoot arrows at it, but they didn't seem to be effective. And Estrelli decided to take out the inky black stone and punch it with the stone. And then the stone got
What could go wrong?
And then the stone got very hot in his hand as the inky black creature was trying to wrest the inky black stone from his hand. And
Okay, when you say the inky black and the inky black, you're making it seem way too obvious. It wasn't that obvious before.
I mean, it seemed obvious to me because I made this scenario, right? So the creature was trying to wrest the stone from Estrelli's hand, and Estrelli, in his last moment of heroism, decided to hold fast to the stone so the creature couldn't get it. And so the dark magics from this creature were funneled into Estrelli through this stone, and he fell and took his last breath, and death claimed his soul.
I mean, that's unfortunate. I'm so sorry.
Cackling.
The laughter right there. So also what happened is this creature passed through Zed and Olivia as they stood in its way trying to fight it and cursed them. So Zed and Olivia are now cursed by a mummy.
And I know they're cursed.
I mean, they know they're cursed. Whether or not they've shared this information, I don't know.
You
Okay.
definitely saw the. It was originally a mummy, but Zed burned the bandages off it with a spell.
And then it was
sort
just
of a black shadowy thing.
Yeah.
But you saw it like pass through us.
And then they became...
Okay, I'm just trying to determine if there's anything that would give me any inclination. Well, I mean, it doesn't sound good, but...
They are currently stunned and shaky. And this will continue until they remove the curse.
Okay, so I could actually see a little bit of what's going on.
Yeah. I will say that as the shadow passed through them, you could see, like, the shadow, like, go into them. Like they breathed it in and, like, maybe a shadow passed across their eyes or something like that. And then they blinked it away and it was gone, but now there's, like, a strange pallor to their skin.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep my distance.
So...
You've got the super...
If we start belching up shadows, I just run.
So they tried to stop this creature from, it seemed to be going towards this column of faint shadow within the well, and they were unable to stop it. And as it touched this column of shadow, it got sucked in, leaving any remaining bandages behind, and the shadow suddenly deepened into an inky darkness. And that was basically where we left last session off. This session, we're kind of skipping ahead. So...
Also worth mentioning,
Yes.
From the sarcophagus where the creature was, we looted info that would allow Zed to learn a new spell and a whole bunch of money.
Yep. I was about to get there.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
So they returned to... They returned to the sarcophagus, and they found information for a spell that Zed could learn, and they also looted 1,300 coins. I'm going to say in coins and gems, but just write it down as coins.
I also did grab the stone back out of...
Well, funny thing is that when you went to look for it, it wasn't there. You could only see a scorch mark on Estrelli's hand where he had been holding it.
Oh. Last I knew, he had died with the stone still, like, up in the air.
He was holding on to it, he fell, and then when you went to retrieve the stone from his clutched hand, there was nothing in it.
Well, bugger.
And with that,
I like the fact that like Zed's not concerned that his friend just died. He's like, oh, where's the magic item?
Well, no, I mean, Zed is obviously horribly, distraught over your loss. You were a person he had known for hundreds of years, quite literally.
Speaking of which, what do you do with Estrelli?
I think it would be a little bit too...
Well, there's a really fancy sarcophagus right there.
What could go wrong?
I don't know. Somehow it seems just plain wrong to be putting the corpse of my friend into an evil sarcophagus that had held a black thing.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe awesome necromancers will come to resurrect him, and he'll lead an awesome cabal. Have you ever thought of that? Wouldn't Australia have wanted to lead a black cabal?
I mean, he is wearing the robes.
Yeah. Oh man, he would fit it so well.
Estrelli the Black Bard.
So do you do anything with him, or do you just leave him there?
I guess we should bring him back to the, city, at least.
Yeah, leaving him there would be a bad idea.
Yeah, he'll probably turn into an undead if we leave him here. And that would be really awkward if we had to fight his undead body at some point in the future.
Estrelli.
I mean, that might still happen anyway, to be honest, but...
Well, in all honesty, I'd rather he be back in the sarcophagus again than the cemetery of town. If he were to rise up from the grave. But in any case, did Estrelli make mention to Zed about ever wanting to lead a black cabal or anything? Does he want to be buried in this fancy sarcophagus? Does that sound like a good idea?
I don't think he really mentioned it. Like, Estrelli, like... While he was concerned about, like, eventually contacting his dead wife, that's one of his motivations for researching the dead and the undead and things like that. He never actually, like, really cared about what happened to himself once he died.
All right. So
Like, he didn't really have much family, so that type of thing didn't really matter to him.
We'll probably construct like a makeshift gurney or something like that to carry him on out of like the table.
Oh yeah, it's like a day and a half's walk back to town.
And not to
That's
mention,
gonna be really obnoxious to carry a dead body for a day and a half of walking.
Well, I mean, all right, we could fashion him a gurney at the outside of the tower somewhere.
Yeah, I think that might...
Why don't we just
Might be
light him
better.
on fire and walk away?
Melt his body with wizard's fire. Is that how elves used to do it?
Maybe do that outdoors and not in here. So
Do it
that there
indoors
won't be
and
the bones
run.
of Estrelli still left here.
Run from what?
I don't know. Things catch on fire. You get dicey.
Oh yeah, but right now you guys are all in, like, the bottom of a stone crypt type thing.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
everything's
unlikely to
stone
catch on
around it.
fire. Unless it's very special fire or very special stone. My vote is for carrying the
Netherrack.
body to the surface and then either burning it or burying it. Either way.
Yeah, we'll carry him up to the base of the tower, and then if we are afraid of him becoming resurrected, because he also was cursed by the mummy, there's a chance.
no, he wasn't cursed by the mummy. He was just murdered by the mummy.
Well, I mean, we saw like the mummy do some type of interaction with the object in his hand, and then he just straight up died from it, and now the object is gone. Like for all we know, evil could have gotten inside of him
Well,
at
no,
some point during that exchange.
It had passed over all three of us.
I think that is actually true. He had gotten
It
cursed
passed over
before he
all three
died.
of us.
Yeah, I got cursed
Yeah.
when the first curse happened with Zed.
It hit
And
Zed and
then-
Axiom first, or Zed and Estrelli first, as they
Yeah,
were
and then it
trying
went
to,
for Hazel.
like one of them was
Oh.
helping the other.
Yeah, I don't really
And then-
remember
yeah.
because then he died, and so it didn't matter.
Right. Yeah, he did get cursed also.
Okay.
So perhaps burning would be better, but I think outside would be good.
Knowing that, we'll dispose of his body in a way that the undead can't reanimate him.
Okay, so your plan is then to take him outside of the tower, build a funeral pyre, and burn him, or just burn him?
Well,
I mean,
I'll go
we'll
with it.
put
I can most
flammable
likely-
objects around him before we set him on fire, but
Yeah,
like we're not going to build him a boat and launch the boat onto the river or anything like that.
Man, that'd be fancy.
yeah, no Viking burials. But by funeral pyre, I think she just meant like a giant stack of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be wood, and there's gonna be Estrelli's dead body, and all of it's gonna be lit on fire.
Okay.
I'm
You
a wizard, that's what
light
you are.
the body of Estrelli. You
But
light this.
First, we're going to
You're gonna have some downtime, so if you want to worry about resting and leveling, that'll be coming.
Well, it was more so like, is there anything valuable on his body that we shouldn't allow to burn, rather than like I don't think any of us is probably going to have a use for his instrument.
I can take
Yep.
it.
No, I think he would
I
rather
somehow
keep
feel
it
like
in-
Estrelli might rather have the instrument with you than with you, Z. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll leave the instrument on his body when we light the pyre. That way
Oh,
it
what a
goes
waste
with
of an
him.
instrument.
Yeah, I think Australia would think the same thing.
What a horrible waste of an instrument.
I mean,
Especially a violin, those are pretty.
Estrelli has known Zed for a long time. I don't think it's unreasonable for Zed to know how Australia would feel about that type of thing.
Yeah, I don't think Australia I don't think he would want the violin to get burned.
Okay, maybe Olivia will take up the violin and play it very badly.
Not even giving it to Z, the other bard. No, just okay.
Olivia's like, looks nice. I'll take it.
Zed plays a lute, or Z plays a lute, right? Yeah, Z.
The what I use for spells and whatnot, yeah. I haven't discussed my whole background, but I dabble in other instruments.
Okay.
All right. So, was there anything else on Australia that?
He had some rations. He had a dangerous bandage.
I remember about that.
Originally, it was a questionable bandage, so she just upped the difficulty rating right there.
Well, I mean, that's just the right tag for it, is that it's dangerous. You have to defy danger when you use it. He had his armor, his dueling rapier, his dangerous bandage, some dungeon rations, the violin, a wizard robe, and then he had an improvised metal club that you don't believe would have any value.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the rapier and exchange it for my short sword, which is not something that I'm capable of using, really.
That's good for you. Go ahead and add dueling rapier to your sheet.
That's quite a lot more helpful to me.
Close, precise, 2-weight.
Okay. And I'm gonna just leave my sword sort of laying on the ground wherever I'm standing when I take the rapier.
Okay, you're just like, F this, I don't need it.
I'll probably also drop my rusty dagger that I picked up at some point.
Okay.
I don't remember when I picked up a rusty dagger, but I think
I think it was on the body of the adventurer.
Oh, yeah.
I think that some fine elven armor would be suitable for another person of elven persuasion.
You want to take his leather armor?
Yeah.
See, I just have this image of you, like, undoing all of the lacing of Astrali's armor, and then just putting it on yourself.
Well, I mean, I had to prepare him for the funeral pyre, you know what I mean? I had to get him all spiffy and fancied up, and,
Okay.
well...
Oh, it's a dueling rapier?
Yes.
Or a rapier?
It's a dueling rapier.
Oh, nice. That thing's fancy. It has armor piercing.
Wait, it does?
It doesn't. Does it actually have that?
No, not this one. This one, I think, it just, the only tags that in the character creation were close and precise.
Okay, so it's probably just a rapier. Because
Okay.
that's the difference between a dueling rapier and a regular rapier, I think.
I can take a look.
Also, I'm pretty sure that all my attacks as Australia were wrong.
Why is that?
So according to this weapon list, it says that a precise weapon, you use dex to hack and slash with this weapon, not strength. It doesn't say you have a choice.
Oh, well, I gave you the choice because it makes sense that you could use either.
Yeah.
So in that case, we probably just should have swapped weapons from the very beginning.
Yeah, probably. It lists it as a dueling rapier, but it does not list it as having armor piercing.
It writes it as a dueling rapier, and it is the weight of a dueling rapier, but the other stats of a regular rapier.
So
That's
just
really strange.
Just write down a rapier, because we'll just go with that.
I'll just write a rapier.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is the weight of the leather armor? And
It
what
is
the armor
1
bonus?
weight, 1 armor. Also, Z, there was one thing I forgot to ask you when I had you make your character. We never determined what your bardic lore is, your area of expertise. And since I have the bard page open, we can do that real quick. So choose an area of expertise. Spells and magics, the dead and undead, grand histories of the known world, a bestiary of creatures unusual, the planar spheres, legends of heroes past, or gods and their servants.
for the history that I have not had the time to tell you about yet, I'm going to assume Grand Histories of the Known World would probably fit the best with that.
And since we haven't really had a chance to talk about your character's history, do we want to do that now? Or do
yeah,
you
we
want...
can do a little bit.
Okay. So why don't you tell me a little bit about Z, since, we haven't really got to get to know her very well.
Okay, well, when I was really, really young, I was, found by a noble family, and I ended up living with them for a while, where they taught me, like, it's one of the reasons why I play, like, kind of classical music, because I was kind of taught a little bit of the more refined stuff.
Okay.
And why I know, like, the histories of the world, whatnot. And then, before when I started to, like, go off on my own, the, original person that did find me, which, God, he'd probably be pretty old by that point. It was a human noble family.
Okay.
But him and his son were murdered, and that's how I got my loot. Because it was the loot that they that the guy that found me, he originally was playing it. He taught me how to play it and taught me other instruments.
What was his name?
Oh crap, I didn't even think of that.
Australia.
What's a human name that would fit for this kind of a world?
Anything. Cedric?
Sure.
And it was a gift imparted through their death, basically.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So you light this funeral pyre. What do you do then? Do you just head back to Oldtown, or?
I mean, probably like observe fire safety procedures, such as like don't light it next to any large trees and burn down the whole forest.
I mean, I assume that you, especially,
I would definitely not want to burn down the whole forest.
You're all familiar with lighting fires. You know how to not burn down a forest by lighting one. So you light this funeral pyre. And
that was that much of a concern, I could have done a magic circle around it to keep the fire contained until body was completed.
No, Olivia knows how to set fires that don't burn down the whole forest.
So, you light this funeral pyre. Do you just then head straight back to Oldtown, or do you want to rest the night and then head back, or how do you want to?
What time is it?
It's probably pretty late.
Well,
Like, it's dark
we
out.
already have a fire. We might as well set up a camp.
I feel like if we're gonna rest, well, we don't know what's going on with that mummy. I feel like it's elsewhere now, and it's probably not coming back. But I don't actually know that for sure.
Well, I mean, we can always, we'll stay here for the night, see if anything special happens.
Right. Where is
So
here,
that's-
though? You mean like outside next to this burning body, or inside of the tower?
Out in camp outside of the tower. I don't think we want to be in the tower anymore.
Okay.
Something dangerously magical is happening there that we can't stop, that we don't know anything about. I would not be in the tower at this time. Just let the tower be. Outside the tower.
That seems good.
But it is dark, it is late. We don't necessarily want to try to go, a day and a half's journey back to town during the night.
Yeah, you cannot actually walk through a forest at night. I don't know if you've tried to do that. It's not
impossible.
actually a possible thing that you can do. Yeah, that can't happen. Well, I mean, if you have a torch, it can happen. I guess a torch is not impossible to come by.
And
You just said about the wild.
there is a path that leads from the tower to Oldtown. It's not just like wilderness.
Right, but if you try to follow a path at nighttime, you'll end up lost in a forest.
I mean, that's fair. Okay, so
Yeah.
so you want to
sleeping
do the
outside
make a camp
next to the
action
burning
then?
body. I think that sounds good.
Okay. Do. All right. You'll need to decide the watch order because you are not someplace safe.
Is there like some type of mechanic for that, or?
No, you just have to decide the watch order and let me know like who's going first, who's going second, and who's going third.
Okay, I'll go first, I guess.
Okay.
I'll take second watch.
So I guess Z, you'll
I'll
take third.
yeah.
Okay. And if you have enough experience, you can do the level up action.
Nice.
Oh, thank God.
Finally, right?
Yeah.
So let's go
I've
ahead.
been waiting for this.
I know you have. So since you've been waiting so long, let's do Zed first. So,
All right.
level up. When you have downtime and XP equal to or greater than your current level plus 7, you can reflect on your experiences and hone your skills. Subtract your current level plus 7 from your experience. So that would be 8.
All right. So from 18 experience, I go down to 10.
And then increase your level to 2.
And my next level requires 9 experience, right?
Yes, because that automatically adjusts. No, you'll have to wait until your next make a camp action to do that. You can increase your level by 1, which you've done. Choose a new advanced move from your class.
Yes, there were many, many ones.
Have you looked at that? Have you picked one yet?
Yes, there were multiple that I wanted to do, but
Did you see the one that she made for you too in Discord?
Oh, that was
Yes.
a new spell.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I
okay.
want the Enchanter ability.
Okay.
When I have time and safety with a magic item, I may ask the GM what it does. The GM will answer me.
Okay, cool.
Are you adding that to my...
Yep, I just added it.
Very good.
Okay. If you are a wizard, add a new spell to your spell book. And you actually get to add 2 because you've got the spell from the mummy treasure pile, and then you also get your new spell from leveling up.
All right. The spell from the treasure pile,
Mm-hmm.
I think I had selected Dispel Magic.
Okay.
Because that's a level 3 spell, and I'm only level 2, so I shouldn't have been able to add that, but you said because it was from the book, I could.
Okay.
That's the only reason I think that that's the one that was from the book.
Sure. Okay.
Alright.
And then you can add another spell to your spell list or spell book or whatever.
I believe I was going to go with... Oh, right, I can't do level 3s on this one. Because I'm on a level 2, so it has to be a level 1 spell that I don't already have. Ooh, this is... I could use some party input on this. Contact spirits would actually be like a, it would make sense story-wise, even though I'd probably never use it.
You mean for talking to Estrelli?
Right, well, if we're talking to any undead, it's like maybe my grief over Estrelli's death caused me to want to get that spell.
The interesting thing, though, is that it is a spirit that you wish to contact. You pull that creature through the planes just close enough to speak to you. So it isn't even necessarily something that's dead.
That's interesting.
So I think you could use it to contact other types of spirits. It's up to you. You can take whatever you like.
What do I need in order to be able to cast that spell? Could it just be something that I saw in passing?
You have to name the spirit you wish to contact. So you'd have to have information on who you want to contact.
Name the spirit you wish to contact or leave it to the GM.
Yeah.
Which may or may not be wise, but that is allowable.
That's true. You can just contact spirits to ask a question and then let me have fun.
Hey, where should we go next?
Actually, that does sound like a very fun spell, so I'm going to go ahead and add that.
Okay.
Contact spirits.
I am down with that. That sounds really fun.
The thing that Zed is thinking about, too, is he knows to make the spell for the name of the guy who was supposedly buried in that sarcophagus. Which means I can call him back and ask him one question, and he has to answer it. So I could ask him where he is, or
better hope you don't fail that roll.
Well, if I fail the roll for the spell, then it just doesn't go off.
Well, no, that's not necessarily how it works.
No.
If you fail this, if you fail the spell, something bad happens. That can be the spell not going off, or it can be something else, or it can be a combination of the two.
That's true.
Well, it says but in any case. Now, is there an easy way to like sort these out a little bit better? Because like if I hit add for a new spell, it adds a new line at the bottom. But I don't necessarily.
You can hit modify to drag things around.
Oh, okay.
So after you add it, you can drag it up so it's with your level 1 spells. Okay. So that's going to be it. Then you get to, after you do that, choose one of your stats and increase it by 1. This may change your modifier or increase your HP and your load. Ability scores can't go higher than 18. So which one do you want to increase?
What are the borders again? The thresholds?
18. Oh, wait. Gotcha. So 12 is the, okay, 13 is the first place you can get a +1. 15.
16 is +2.
And then
And
9
9
is
is
0. Yeah. I was a little confused because I'm looking at your sheet and you have the shaky and stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not necessarily.
And then I think 18 gives you a +3.
Alright, so I'm going to go with intelligence.
Okay, so your intelligence is now
Probably a good
17.
call.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, so that's going to be it for you. So while you're messing with your spells, let's go ahead and do Olivia, because you can level, right?
Yep.
How's your cough doing, by the way? Is it still kind of...
Yeah, it's coughing.
Yeah.
Hopefully it goes
still
away
coughing.
eventually. I don't really...
It's just a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So subtract your current level +7 from your experience. So subtract 8 from your current XP.
I have 15, so that should be 7, if I'm mathing correctly.
Yep, that is correct.
Yep. And then boost my level up.
Choose a new advanced move from your class. Did you already do that?
I'm taking God Amidst the Waste. God Amidst the Waste.
God.
That just sounds awesome.
I mean, there's that, and also it gives me cleric spells at my level -1.
Okay. Gain cleric spells at ranger level -1. Okay. How many spells does it give you?
Like I just basically am a cleric at -1 level, but I don't get any of their advanced moves or anything like that.
Okay.
But,
Me
so
too.
I just treat my level as being -1, and then I can do everything a cleric would do.
Okay, so. Alrighty. 1 second. Alright. So that's cool. So, gain cleric spells at ranger level -1. So you're basically a first level cleric now.
Yeah. Should I pick a deity, or is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say if you found God amidst the waste, what god did you find?
Okay.
Or if you want to give that a little bit of thought, we can go and do the rest of the leveling up thing.
Maybe that spirit creature is your god now.
No, I don't think so.
You could always choose a Vel. Just say it.
Well, she's never heard of that god, most likely. Well, she might have. I don't know. How popular is that god?
Well, the thing is, though, like, I imagine what happened is you had a religious moment. So it wouldn't necessarily be that the god is popular. It's just what god came to you and made you her instrument or his instrument.
Also, like, if you do want to make one up, one of the first things to think about is, like, what does that god do? Like, I know for Avel, her primary thing is, like, she purifies the land of the evil. She's the fire that cleanses land. What is your concept for what do you want?
From clerics? Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Oh, a canned god. Okay.
No, it's not that. But you have to choose a domain from one among the list.
Oh,
For
okay.
clerics, though. Yeah. That would be not probably what it's going to be. I'm thinking between knowledge and hidden things or the downtrodden and forgotten. I think that fits Olivia as a character better, but I think knowledge and hidden things fits like what made her want to be a semi-cleric. So that's the kind of why there's indecision. Well, my precept is going to be religion is cultish and insular. Add petition gaining secrets. Well, I mean, I don't know if the petition is like a thing that, because I think that is probably interacting with a cleric move or something. Yeah, and I don't get that. So I don't add the petition, I would assume. The religion is cultish and insular. Can there have been a book like in the loot that we found? And maybe that book is where I found information about that god or something?
Wait, are we talking about a good god here? If you found a book in there.
Oh yeah, maybe. That they just sort of appeared to me in that moment or something like that. That could also be. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I think the downtrodden and forgotten is the one that I'll pick as the domain. Yeah. I will, but not right now. I'm gonna think about it. I should have thought about that beforehand because I knew I was gonna pick that ability, but I just didn't. So.
Docs, what is that name of the poverty god in the anime you watched?
Oh, well, the name of just poverty gods in general were Bimbogami.
Hold on, let me see if I can convince the dog. No, never mind. It's fine. I'll just mute my. Okay, I'm boosting my dex, which puts me back up to where I was before I got cursed. Yay! All right, I think that's the type of thing where I can pick from any of the list, but I memorize spells each time I rest. So I have to find out how many I can.
Hooray! Well, that is the good thing about being a ghost during a huge, massive boss fight.
Right.
And just as a side note, for the ordering of the spell list, it looks like hitting modify allows me to highlight sections independently, but I can't. So I'll just have to go and change that around manually, cut and paste.
Hazel, do you have like a little? You might want to just like if you have a little mute thing on your headset, you might want to just mute and then just cough as much as you need to, because it looks like you're like constantly trying to stop yourself from coughing.
But the thing is, coughing isn't gonna make me stop coughing. It's just gonna make me cough even more if I do that.
I don't know,
So-
like, well, at least for me, like sometimes when I have a bad cases of coughs, like I just want to like hack it up for a little bit, and then I'm all right for Oh well.
It might be a
Good
different
luck.
kind of cough, because this is the type that just lasts for like a
Okay.
month or 2 months or something.
You gotta stand on your
yeah.
head for 3 hours.
I'm probably not gonna do that, but that's yeah. Anyway, the spells that I'm learning for now are magic weapon and I think cure light wounds. Hmm. I probably like take sort of a stick and sort of draw characters in the dirt. You know what I mean? But like I don't know what they say or if they're actual letters or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's just sort of like stream of consciousness.
It's like tongues but written type thing.
Right, exactly. It's like
Okay.
speaking tongues but written.
That's interesting. I like that. Okay.
So I'll probably start carrying a notebook and a pencil in the future for
Okay.
doing that with.
So the night passes uneventfully. The fire burns brightly, and then as dawn rises, smolders low. Nothing attacks you,
Nice.
and it is the dawn of a new day. Do you head back to Oldtown?
Yep.
Does anyone have anything else they want to do here?
On the stream.
No, I think we're pretty much good as long as that shadowy darkness stays where it is in the tower. Doesn't come out and envelop the land in evil. But yeah,
Well, I mean, when you wake up, you don't. It's as dark as ever in there. But it doesn't seem to be spilling out or belching forth, so at least there's that. Okay, so I will need you all to undertake a perilous journey to head back to Oldtown. So, you need to...
Why does it have to be perilous? Can't you just skip your way along?
Oh, and also mark off 1 ration for resting the night. Olivia, since you are technically, I will count this as in a dungeon, you don't have to.
Okay.
Because you're like right outside a dungeon. That's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Also,
so...
when it says dungeon, I don't think it necessarily literally means like
I
an
know.
underground place. Like a forest can be a dungeon.
Yeah, but on the road is not a dungeon.
Right. On the road is not a dungeon. Anyway.
Okay, so you need to choose 1 member of the party to act as a trailblazer, 1 to scout ahead, and 1 to be quartermaster.
I'm gonna be the scout.
And I think you guys might remember, Zed made some really freaking good food last time.
He did.
That's
He was
true.
a really good,
Maybe
really
we should
good
let
quartermaster.
Zed be the quartermaster again.
while it's good to hear that my magic is being appreciated, I think it's being a little bit underappreciated.
But the thing is, somebody has to do it. I can't do it because I'm too busy. What do you call it? Looking out for the horrible things that might try and injure us. So
All right. I'll be the quartermaster. And that leaves Z as
Trailblazer.
don't get us lost, Z.
Z's
Which is
still-
more important, trailblazing or scouting? Do you think?
So on a 10 plus, the Trailblazer will reduce the amount of time it takes to reach your destination, which is what you
Oh,
did.
okay.
Otherwise, it'll take you 2 days to get to Oldtown. But you got there in a
And
day
if
and
you
a
fail
half.
that roll,
Well,
is there like specific circumstances for failing each thing, or
that is
just failure in general?
It is
Okay.
up to me. The scout will spot any trouble quick enough to let you get the drop on it if you roll a 10 plus.
Okay, that would be the scout.
Okay. So, Trailblazer, please roll plus wisdom. Is there a message on stream? I'm supposed to be looking? Oh, yeah, I saw that message on stream.
That's a little delayed.
I didn't see your message because I was looking at my notes. So, Catilyn, Z, you are the Trailblazer. Roll plus wisdom.
Oh,
Okay, Scout, roll plus wisdom.
All right. So last time I used my animal companion to help with this. Is that just
Yeah.
a thing in general, or?
I
Okay.
mean, I will let you. That's fine.
Okay. Okay, so that should be a 12.
Okay, and Zed, Quartermaster, roll plus
The
wisdom.
important part.
Oh,
Oh, you burnt
Oh, no.
the biscuits.
mark
Remember,
XP.
this is an even-numbered campaign. Alright,
What?
It's an even-numbered session.
So he's gonna
pendulum
fail a
is-
lot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so first things first, mark XP. Second things, everyone mark off one ration as it is wasted by the quartermaster.
Wait, why did my dungeon rations go down to 2? They were at 3.
Oh, sorry, that was probably me. I told you, I forgot that you didn't rest during a time, so yeah, you didn't eat. So you don't have to. You can leave it at 2.
Alright, because I just marked it down from 4 to 3 for camping outside the dungeon.
Yeah, that was my bad. I forgot you didn't rest in the dungeon. So.
whoops.
So yeah, everyone mark down one ration, except for Zed, because I already did that for you. And it takes you 2 days to get back. Z is able to find your way back successfully, but she doesn't find the shortcut that Estrelli took you on. So she just takes you back the normal way.
If
So...
you look on the map, you see those squiggly lines?
Yeah.
You actually had to follow those squiggly lines.
Exactly. But Olivia is able to keep you free and clear of danger. So subtract off 2 more rations as you head back to Oldtown.
Okay.
And if you don't happen to have 2 rations left, let me know.
I'm good to go.
I happen to have 2 rations, so I am good. Down to 0, but I'm good.
Well, you made it back. That's the important part.
I
And
think
we
I'm
have
at
money,
0.
so we should be able to buy more rations once we get back to us.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure 0 uses of dungeon rations is 0 weight as well.
Yeah, that's true.
you just no longer have dungeon rations.
That's true. But may as well leave it on there because you're gonna buy more, I'm sure.
I'm gonna buy a lot of arrows as soon as we get back to town.
You used a lot of them. All right. So you make it back to town, and why don't we go ahead and go to our first break because it's 6:00. And
So-
yeah.
Wise.
When we get back, we'll figure out how Axiom knows the rest of the group. and we will.
Will he necessarily?
Yeah, that's how we work this out. You're gonna have a bond with somebody.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we will be
Had
back.
to go back to, we just had to go back to town to go grab you. That's,
Yeah.
Damn, we should have brought Axie.
So yeah, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Thanks for sticking around. More Dungeon World Old Town coming up in a little bit.